Good afternoon, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jesse Gunkel with a quick weather update this afternoon. Most of the action so far over the last 2 to 3 hours has been sitting in southern Mississippi, where we did have a reported confirmed tornado on the ground just a little bit, about 10 miles north of Liberty in Mississippi, and that's in the northern part of Amite County. As you look at the big picture here, we remain underneath a tornado watch until 6 o'clock this evening. They may, as you see there, even a couple boxes out towards the west. They have shifted it a few more, I would say, counties in Mississippi moving into Alabama. And that line that extends from the Gulf Coast states that goes all the way up into the Great Lakes region at this point. A lot of heavy rainfall, but you see that cold front that's going to be driving through later on tonight and as we step into tomorrow. Once that cold front goes through, our temperatures are going to rapidly drop across the area. But take a look at the big picture here, and as you look at your Doppler radar, what I do want to point out, so far we've been pretty calm here in the capital area. We're going to start to see a lot more in the way of coverage as we make our way into the afternoon and evening hours. Again, you see a lot of those storms just kind of skipping into southern Mississippi, and that currently is the concern out there when you look at the mesoscale discussions out there, that we're seeing a majority of those stronger thunderstorms. They are capable of producing supercells. That's all in southern Mississippi right now. So around Crosby, north of Centerville, and you can see a lot of those storms just moving north of Macomb. Brookhaven, kind of under the gun right now for more potential strong thunderstorms out there, and that line extends back a little bit further southwest. What I do want to point out too is if you look here a little bit closer, we're going to skip it over to just kind of give you an idea of what we're actually looking at, and you'll see the velocity here just to see if there's any potential rotation out there. And the main concern obviously is that area roughly along I-55 now, and you see just around Brookhaven. We're kind of zooming in on the area between Thayer and Wellman and north of Wilkinson towards the Northfield area. You can see that difference in colors, that bright green with the bright reds. I'll show you right here. We're going to kind of zoom in and just kind of circle the area of concern right now. There is that potential, obviously, for maybe, again, Doppler indicated, but a potential tornado on the ground in that area. We'll zoom out just a little bit and clear that area. Give you the big picture once again, showing you those possible warnings on the ground, and that is the concern. Just give a little timing for us here in the capital area. You see by Futurecast here, we're going to watch that main line probably drive through just around 8 o'clock, between 7 and 8 this evening. I think that threat, or at least a tornadic threat, will be a little bit further off towards the northwest, kind of pushing out of our area. But as you see around 7, 8 o'clock tonight, we'll see that main line and band of thunderstorms. And if you're driving to the Saints game, back and forth, you could be running into a couple strong thunderstorms, some ponding on some of our roadways out there, and then a chance for some rain on the backside. We're really not going to clear until we get into those evening hours out there. So again, watching the Doppler radar, let's go over those warnings out there right now. And you'll see, again, we'll put it in, just kind of stop it a little bit here, just to kind of show you what I'm looking at. And as you see, we've got numerous warnings across the area, one being that severe thunderstorm warning, and that is for Washington and Withall. That is until 4:30. Again, the chance for some wind gusts greater than 70 miles per hour. We'll move a little bit over, and you'll see there was another watch, or again, severe thunderstorm warning now for until about 4:30. So that's for about another 30 minutes for Amite County. A lot of, again, those storms are lifting out of here, but we still have that tornado warning for Amite and Pike counties in southern Mississippi until about 4:15. So that's about roughly another 10 to 12 minutes in that general area, so moving north of the Macomb area. And if you know anybody in that area, obviously, or if you have to travel northbound along I-55 this evening, just stay weather aware, or again, if somebody is in that general vicinity, just give them a call and let them know what's going on, because obviously these storms have continued to pile up over the last half hour. Again, that reported tornado just around the Liberty area, which was a concern earlier today. So we'll kind of zoom out a little bit here just to give you an indication of what we're looking at. Again, obviously a couple more storms could kind of fill on the backside, and we're talking just around the Jackson area, or at least a little bit north of there. A couple more individual pockets around Melville. I'm just going to kind of take a look again, just to kind of analyze this system a little bit, just to see exactly what we're looking at. And you can see, let's kind of move over here. It's kind of in that in-between area where we kind of get a little bit of overlapping between two Doppler radar sites, one that we have over in Slidell and the other one that sits over in Lake Charles. So it's kind of that in-between area. And right now we're not seeing too much Yeah, we're not seeing too much on the radar screen at this point, but again, when you look at the big picture out there, we've got a lot more thunderstorm activity kind of filling in on the backside. So if there is a new warning, obviously we're going to keep you up to date throughout the afternoon hours. We've got our latest newscast coming up at 5 o'clock on Local 33, and we'll give you the very latest. We've also got crews currently on their way to southern Mississippi to kind of see what's going on and to get the latest information there. We're going to send you over to brproud.com right now. We're going to continue to stream there with the latest information just to kind of get you through the afternoon until these storms start to fade down. But obviously, most of our storms, we could get a nice little break now until I would say about 7, 8 o'clock tonight before more storms kind of rumble through the area. But that could also be a concern for those heading down to New Orleans, and a lot of these storms are going to drift towards the northeast. So again, for those on Local 33, we're going to leave you now, but if there's something important, we'll make sure to break in and give you the very latest. Now go to brproud.com. And for those joining us on our website, brproud.com, thank you for joining us. Also, make sure to download our app for the very latest out there. The concern is obviously to have multiple ways to receive warnings. We are still under the gun for at least a few more hours. That tornadic threat has shifted a little bit further northeast. We're talking southern Mississippi at this point, and it's really indicated here by what you're seeing on that Doppler radar. You see all those severe thunderstorm warnings indicated by the yellow. You're seeing all those tornado warnings, obviously just around I-55 for a lot of areas that got a hard hit earlier this afternoon, just about an hour ago, around 2 to 3, just around the Liberty area. But again, that same cell, just Brookhaven up towards Monticello. Again, it looks like they just issued a new tornado warning there. Let's give you the latest information on that. And as you see here, again, we have that tornado warning in effect now until about 4:30, and that is for, it looks like, just outside of the New Orleans area. So again, they're kind of shifting everything into the Jackson area, obviously, which is kind of shifting out of the reach of the National Weather Service site in New Orleans. So we've got 4:30, that tornado warning, and that's for, I want to say, Copiah, Lawrence, and Lincoln counties in southern Mississippi, along with portions of Amite. As you see here, we'll jump down Amite and Pike underneath that tornado warning until about 4:15. And I think, again, that same cell is drifting outside of Amite and Pike, so they'll most likely allow that tornado warning to expire, which is good news. But still, if you see here, we've got a lot of storms kind of filling in on the back edge, and that is really going to be the concern out there. It looks like we've got another decent thunderstorm moving just roughly right along that Mississippi-Louisiana line right now. You see how it's starting to flash a little bit, kind of showing you that the same cell is gaining a little bit of steam. So once again, we could be seeing that same area. There is Liberty. You can see it right here. You see that indicated by the area? There's Liberty. This is the same path of that possible tornado right here, just a little bit to the northwest of Centerville, moving through the Liberty area. Well, watch the same cell kind of towards that southeastern quadrant. That's what we're going to be concerned again about, another cell developing in the area. What do we got here? Tornado warning for Washington and Withal. What does that say? They issued a new tornado warning?
Yeah, so more east.
Yeah, we're continuing to do complete team coverage. So we're getting this information and as quickly as possible, and we're trying to get it to you guys as quickly as possible at home. So, yeah, we're going to watch that area. Let's just take a look at the velocity. And again, there is some possible rotation, as you see here with the latest scan, kind of showing up on that Doppler radar area. So we're talking areas just to the east of LA 19. And you see, just with the latest scan, obviously, it's looking a little bit more possible for some rotation. So we're going to watch that area right about here, moving up towards Whitaker, moving into southern Mississippi again. Could be another possible tornado. So watch that closely. If you live just to the east of it, which now looks to be LA 19 or Highway 33 once you get into Mississippi at this point. So again, it changes name and number as soon as you cross the state line. I also want to kind of show you a big picture again. That's what we're watching, but let's put it in motion just to give you a little bit of timing here, because it does look like a lot of these storms obviously are going to continue to develop. A few individual pockets moving into southern Mississippi. We're kind of getting that clearing in that general area, but watch out back. So you see here, clearing right now. I do want to keep an eye for us in the capital area for this area, mainly south of I-10. And so far, nothing has developed. Everything has been relatively north of I-12 and really just around the state line going into Mississippi. So roughly in this area, they start to form here and then they quickly pop and explode and produce tornadoes going into southern Mississippi. But watch that line and notice we haven't seen a lot of redevelopment in between here along I-49. That is also a good indication for us. So we're going to kind of watch this tail end as it pushes through. Now again, I'm not saying that we won't see any tornadoes out of it, but it's going to shift more to a straight line threat. Wind damage threat with winds possibly up to 60, 70 miles per hour, and then that possibility for some pretty heavy rainfall in a couple bands, obviously, as that line starts to drive through. But again, you could start to see that line kind of bow, and yeah, you could see some weaker tornadoes maybe develop along this line as we make our way into the evening hours. So watch this tail end. That's going to be the issue as we head into the evening, probably after 6 o'clock tonight. And then going into the evening hours, New Orleans kind of being under the gun. And if you're driving back, probably, again, we're talking timing-wise. I just want to show you that on the Futurecast. That could be an issue for leaving the game and then heading back towards New Orleans. So we're going to show you the Futurecast here and kind of show you a little bit of timing. You see a couple individual pockets roughly around 6 o'clock tonight. Again, we'll get a break for those heading home from work. And if you're watching from your work laptop or your computer here, know that we may get a break, which is good, obviously. The roadways should be pretty decent out there. But by the time we get to about 7 to 8, that line should be driving into Pointe-Coupee Parish, up into the Felicianas again, and then for us, West Baton Rouge Parish moving into East Baton Rouge just around 7, 8 o'clock tonight, moving into Ascension, Assumption, Livingston, probably just a little bit after that, and then moving down into New Orleans probably around 10, 8. Obviously, the game should be wrapping up around between 10 and 11 o'clock tonight, hopefully if it doesn't go into overtime. But you can see you could be dealing with some showers until about midnight, maybe even until about 2 o'clock in the morning before a lot of those storms finally exit the region and push off towards the east. Still looks like some cloud cover, but I also want to point out we've got a very strong cold front on the backside of this system. And notice the drop in temperatures. We're talking 33 degrees in Dallas, 31 in Shreveport. And again, I just want to show you some of these current temperatures across the state. And you'll notice it's already 48 in Shreveport. We're talking 30s in Dallas in the Metroplex, 56 currently in Natchitoches, 66. You see that line driving through Alexandria. And for us, we're still talking upper 70s out there. We're still warm, we're still humid, and we've still got some pretty solid winds out there. So we're all ahead of that advancing cold front. But then once that front comes through, we're going to see a huge swing as we head into tomorrow. And I'm going to show you that once we have our evening newscast. I don't want to give too much away, but we're talking a light freeze again. We're talking temperatures dropping below that 32 mark as we head into tomorrow night and as we head into the following evening. So we're going to have to watch that closely. Tonight, we're going to drop our temperatures most likely down into the mid-40s out there. Severe thunderstorm warning. Is this a new one? All right, looks like, okay, so we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning for East Feliciana, West Feliciana, and Amite now, and Wilkinson in southern Mississippi until about 4:45 at this point. So I'll show you that here on the Doppler radar, just to give you an idea of what we're looking at. So again, it's that same cell that we were kind of watching. They've given it a severe thunderstorm warning instead of a tornado warning, which is good. Obviously, they didn't see too much in the way of rotation. So this is what we're looking at, and here is that area of concern, and that's for East Feliciana, West Feliciana. That's in Louisiana, and then in southern Mississippi, Amite and Wilkinson until about 4:45. So again, the greatest concern there are some wind gusts greater than 60 miles per hour. Expect the possibility of some damage to roofs, siding, and possible trees. And we're mainly concerned for areas just north of Clinton as this cell is moving towards the northeast now at about 40 miles per hour. So moving into southern Mississippi, that will be once again the biggest issue. And it looks like they're already starting to do a little bit of cleanup after that tornado in the Liberty area. So again, this is not good news for those in southern Mississippi. More heavy rainfall and obviously issues for the area that was hit pretty hard a little bit earlier this afternoon. So keeping an eye on that area. We've got a crew on the way. We're going to have the very latest coming up tonight at 5. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, just remember to have multiple ways to receive warnings. You can download our app, get the latest there. You can always follow us and stream us on BeOurProud.com. Go to our local television stations, Fox 44 and NBC 33, and you can always follow us on social media through Facebook, through Twitter, and our entire team coverage. Obviously, we've got the entire crew behind me right here, kind of giving me the latest information. So, yeah, if anything does arise and anything is warranted, we'll make sure we get you, obviously, the new information throughout the afternoon and as we head into the evening. Thank you for joining us.